We have highlights from last night's town council meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, September 18th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mantle. Homelessness in our community took center stage during last night's town council meeting. Police Chief Paul McDonald presented estimated costs within his department that are related to homelessness.
We have quantified the cost of servicing calls regarding the homeless population within the town of Barnstable for the period of June 30th, 2014 through June 30th, 2015. This report reflects a conservative analysis of Barnstable Police Department's resources expended on responding to calls involving homeless persons. The resources included in this report are as follows: the number of calls for service, the number of officers responding to a call for service, amount of time on scene, report writing time, station time, total police time spent per call or service. Multiple categories of calls for service were carefully reviewed to ensure that no call was duplicated. Each call included in this analysis involves a confirmed homeless individual and/or a targeted police response to public disorder crimes determined to involve homeless persons. Determination of public disorder crimes involving homeless persons is based upon complaints received and police reports. The officers conducting this analysis personally reviewed the calls for service and calculated the resulting manpower cost. Upon the above specified criteria, we estimated the cost to the Barnstable Police Department to serve the homeless population as follows. Total calls for service, 4,260 calls. Total officer hours, 7,706 hours and 19 minutes, and this does not include the community impact unit. Total cost for manpower, $266,407.37, and again, this does not include the community impact unit. The cost for the operation of the community impact unit was $253,000. For the total approximate cost to the Barnstable Police Department is $520,203.37. This includes, but is not limited to, total protective custodies, 308, total criminal arrest, 247, total warrant arrest, 101, total section 35, 028, total section 12, 033. A section 35 is a drug or alcohol committal. A section 12 is a mental health committal. The number of homelessness in our community. Over this 12-month period, the Barnstable Police, the Community Impact Unit, have had contact in excess of 400 individuals, which is approximately the same number. The NOAA shelter in the approximately last 12 months, they too had a number of just over 400. So this is a good solid number for the number of homeless individuals that have been in the town of Barnstable in the last 12 months. The categories of homelessness, we, the police department, came up with 4 different categories. Those that are in the shelter, each night there are 50 to 55 individuals staying at the NOAA shelter. The transient population, these are individuals that are homeless, then they become housed, then they go back to homelessness, or they're hospitalized, or they're in a treatment facility, or sometimes they're incarcerated. Couch surfers, they have no permanent addresses. A couple of days a week they stay at motels, or they depend on family, friends, or relatives to stay on their couch.
And highlighting those findings even further, Chief McDonald showed a video of blatant drug use taking place on the town green.
This is a video of 5 individuals, a group of homeless individuals, down on the main green. This is August 18th at 4:22 in the afternoon. If you see the gentleman with the not wearing a shirt, the white male, you see that he's about to shoot up. And you also see a black female sitting on the bench. She's about to do the exact same thing. This is in broad daylight on August 18th at 4:20 at the Highness Town Green. All of these individuals were subsequently identified. None of these individuals are staying at the shelter. Most of these individuals are staying in the camps along Old Colony Boulevard. You can see she's taking a tourniquet off her arm. Homeless camps, this is a homeless camp which is up off of 65 Old Yarmouth Road. This is one of the larger camps. It takes up a vast amount of property. There was only one individual staying at this camp. This camp has already been cleaned up and has been removed. This camp was located on the Hyannis Water Department property on their watershed. And there are numerous other camps similar to this, smaller in size, and some of the town councils took the time to tour some of the camps. Since then, we've also cleaned up 6 other camps along the Old Colony Boulevard and Nantucket Street and down to the rear of St. Pope John's High School. Hyannis Social Service Agencies. We have identified 72 agencies that provide some type of service to the homeless community. And I'm sure they do a great thing. I'm not criticizing them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm sure they're in need of services. What I am saying is their close proximity to Main Street and the fact that they're all congested in one area, primarily along Main Street, and there's been study after study done. When you have this many social service agencies all centered around a small geographical area, it will have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhoods.
President and CEO of the Housing Assistance Corporation, Rick Presbury, talked about the history of homelessness in Hyannis and stressed that their organization wants to be part of the solution.
Back in 1977, I was running a youth sports program down by the Mets field behind what is now the St. Francis Xavier School. And it was a lacrosse program. I was one of the founders of that program. And the kids, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, would sometimes throw the balls into the woods on the west end of that field. And they wouldn't go into the woods because there was a homeless camp there in 1977. And so, you know, we all know this, but I think it's a fun anecdote to really know literally from my own eyes that this goes back a long way. In 1984, one of your members, Paul Hebert, Paul, I'll point him out, it's all his fault, served on a town committee, and he came to me, what was then in my office on the 2nd floor of the now NOAA building, and asked me if we would be willing to open a shelter for homeless individuals. And I remember the moment very well because it was a horrible thought as far as I was concerned. We're a housing agency. I didn't want to do it. I challenged him to go through the reasons why other organizations couldn't do it and so forth. And we responded and did it. And so the first year it was in the Armory. As people know, there were 28 to 30 beds in the Armory. And then the second year, starting in Christmas of 1986, it moved into the building that used to be our office it's on Winter Street now. We responded then. We responded in terms of a request from town officials to open the day center just before Memorial Day weekend last year. We're just in the process of responding to the chief in particular who's asked for a social worker. We went out and got the money to do it. We've interviewed people for that job, and we expect to fill that job within a couple of weeks so that by October 1st, somebody will be on the job working with the CIU to help them do things that police officers don't normally do. You know, whether it's a person that needs a change of clothes and a shower or whatever other things they need.
Councilors also heard from key players like Paula Schnepp, who is the network coordinator on the regional network of homelessness, Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District Executive Director Elizabeth Werfbane, and Deb Crow of the Greater Hyannis Civic Association. You can view the meeting in full on the town's website. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On Monday's show, we will chat with Assistant Town Manager Mark Ells, Interim Superintendent of Schools Bill Butler, and we'll chat with Principal of Barnstable High School Patrick Clark. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.